This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar, ECW original, and co-star of the London Films Critics Best Picture winner, The Wrestler, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
Oh man. So I guess congratulations are due for Danhausen.
Yeah. Danhausen and Danhausen alone.
Yeah. Dude, I watched last night and just it's crazy, just to think how a simple uncursing could lead to this. But I said before, and I'll absolutely say it again. The New York Knicks have to give Danhausen a championship ring.
Unquestionably.
He deserves a championship ring. So yeah. What a weird series, man. It's like I don't know if the Knicks are just like playing possum each game, or it looks like they're about to lose and they make the pro wrestling comeback. And I mean, the other night they were down 39 points,
which is crazy.
And came back and won. It's insane. Look, I know I'm a diehard Philadelphia sports fan, unapologetically, and the Sixers have let me down each and every year. I still watch the Sixers. I still root for the Sixers, but just as a pure sports fan, watching my friends who are Knicks fans celebrate, it kind of did my heart good.
Yeah,
just for the fact that Philly's had a couple championships. Since the Knicks haven't won a championship since 1973, which means the year I was born.
Wow.
In my lifetime, the Knicks have never had a championship. So in my lifetime, I was alive for the Broad Street Bullies, winning, even though I was just a baby. I don't even really remember, the 1980 World Series, the 08 World Series. I've seen the Eagles win 2 Super Bowls, Sixers winning the championship in 83. So there's people who, have been Knicks fans literally their whole lives who've never seen their team win the championship. So I'm happy for my friends who are Knicks fans. Let them celebrate. Let them. I was just watching a video of Enzo Amore watching the end of the game, and he's crying, tears of joy. So it's hard not to get caught up in the emotion of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I talk about all the time. I love watching crowds and crowd reactions. So yeah, and then I was watching some YouTube streamers who are walking around the streets of New York City with that chaos.
Yeah,
and watching. I'm a chaos junkie too, so it was interesting watching all that last night. But kudos to my friends who are New York Knicks fans. Kudos to Danhausen.
For real.
Yeah. That's serious. He deserves a championship ring. He kind of helped kick this whole thing off. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'll get to that in just a second, because I got a bunch of people I want to say hello to this morning. We got the Pod Squad here.
So I can get this fucking yawn out of my head.
Mass Sanity says, greetings and salutations, Hausen. Good morning. Jesse Brown's here, says, good morning, everyone. Machete Von Kill is here. Good morning, lovelies, and good morning. Matthew Elvis Presley is here. Good morning, everyone. Let's hear it for the leader of the Blue Line and our tribal beef, the Blue Meanie. Let's acknowledge him. Good morning, sir. And we're getting to the Danhausen Knicks stuff here. He says Mass Entity says WFAN has officially invited Danhausen to the parade, so that is absolutely happening.
Fantastic.
Got a little dry throat this morning here. The Knicks won every game since Danhausen uncursed them, except that one that had the orange off.
Yeah.
That's what he says. Yeah, they had to. Jesse says they had to purify the garden after that game. Yeah, that was direct straight line. But no, I absolutely think that Danhausen should have a spot on the parade. He should have a ring. They should give him at least $1 million human dollars. So I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, lots of things to think about.
Blue Meanie very cursed.
But yes, congratulations to the Knicks. I watched a little bit last night. I fell asleep, I think around the third quarter. I was fucking exhausted. I have been running around like crazy. I'm sure everyone has been following me, has been seeing me at seeing my Tribeca stuff, which is absolutely insane. I had another late night on Friday, and I've been trying to catch up on sleep. And I was like, I want to watch the Knicks game. I want to sit and I want to watch it. And
welcome to my world.
Yeah, I literally felt like 100 years old. I was just like staying up. I was like, oh, they're winning. Oh no, they're losing. Just nodding out on the bed. I'm like, I'm just gonna go to sleep, man. I need to go to sleep. So.
Yeah. I was yesterday. Also, shout out to my friend Justin Daniels and his wife Penelope. They had an amazing toy show. They do a toy show every year at their store in Mays Landing. Far Point Toys and Collectibles.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday, went down to Mays Landing, sold my wares at their toy show.
Sold my wares and accoutrement.
Yeah. Came home, took a shower, took a nap, which was fucking beautiful. And we went to McCusker's, got some some adult beverages and watched the next game. So, I yesterday beat the shit out of me because I had to get up like 8 to go down there, beat the short traffic, get there to the toy show, come back. And I knew if I was going to go out, I needed to get, throwing a fucking nap there. So I went, took a shower, was all squeaky clean, laid down in the bed, took a nice power nap for an hour and a half. And then I was ready to rock and roll. But yeah, if we watched the game at McCusker's, we had a couple of people from New York in there who are Knicks fans. Watch them celebrate, and it's like, and I'm sure there's some Philly sports fan going, "Oh, you call yourself a Philly sports fan?" Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the Sixers are
out
perpetually. No, well, they're perpetually cursed.
Yeah.
The masters of second round eliminations. Yeah, it sucks because people are like, whoever wins this Sixers Knicks series will win the whole thing, and then the Knicks win the whole thing. It's like, God damn it, But yeah, I'm a diehard Philly fan, but I am also a sports fan, and I'm also, being a pro wrestler, a lover of all things drama. So it was a very dramatic series, and you just love to see your friends happy. So maybe that's me just getting softer with age, as I just turned 53. But
I think this is a little bit different though too with the Knicks and Danhausen and stuff. It's hard not to get swept up in it, like it's hard not to feel like, because again, I was in New York pretty much all week. I talked to a friend of the show, Kaz from Hot 97, and
awesome.
I was chopping it up with him, and it was like you could feel it in the air, man. It was everywhere, It was like Spike Lee was in his bag, as the youth say. He was man, he was in a good space when I saw him the other day, man. But it was hard not to be like, everybody that was there was like decked out in the Knicks gear, and it was cool to like be a part of that, the energy. I will say that if you go to Liam Crowley's story right now, he was out celebrating last night, and that man's a menace, and he's wearing his Spider-Man onesie out and climbing a pole in New York City right now. But it's like it's I think it's one thing to be like, oh, you know, like, oh, you're not a Phillies fan if you're supporting the team. It's like, yeah, well, I still want to watch basketball. But this, I feel like, is, I don't know. Do you agree with that? I feel like this momentum, this Knicks fever is a little bit different, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a once in a generation. Well,
Yeah, I guess maybe.
I don't want to limit it to just basketball, but it was a special run. You
Yeah.
know, considering how they were losing pretty badly leading into the playoffs, and then the whole interaction between Danhausen and Stephen A. Smith, where he put the curse on the Knicks, and then Stephen A. Smith, had Danhausen take the curse off. It makes you wonder if sports are a work too. But
Mm-hmm.
Tim Donaghy kind of showed how you can work a sport with the point shaving. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Hell yeah.
that's another thing. You can have a game be worked or fixed. It only takes one or two people to do it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not even going down that rabbit hole today.
No.
I don't have the brain power for it, but yeah, it just, dude,
don't have the capacity, meaning we don't have the brain power on a Sunday morning.
You tell me. When I'm down in the Baja,
Heading down to the beach, got to go to Rehoboth Beach, go to the boardwalk, get some fudge.
get some funnel cake.
I'm a big fan of the proprietor's funnel cake in Rehoboth Beach.
Or I'll go to Atlantic City and say hello to Mr. Peanut.
I was down at Atlantic City with Bruce Springsteen and REO Speedwagon.
I was on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, and a goddamn seagull swooped in and took my hot dog right out of the bun.
I had to walk over and get another Frankfurter because the seagull took mine.
And then another seagull came along and took that one.
It was absolutely unprecedented. It made me feel like the time Hogan narked me out to Vince McMahon in the locker room.
For starting a union.
I wanted to start a union.
That's actually the best Jesse I think I've ever done. I think I just fucking nailed it there. So thank you, Meanie. Thank you.
Go buy a lottery ticket, man.
Listen, Knicks in 5, the Jesse Ventura thing. We're going to play this one more time here, too.
Blue Meanie, very cursed.
I love that we have that. That's like the best thing ever, man. I love it.
Yeah, I posted on my Instagram a photo of Danhausen with the Knicks jersey. I was like, they need to give him a ring, and he actually ended up liking my post, which is kind of. I'm a fanhausen of the Danhausen.
Same. Love that Danhausen, man.
Love him. Love him.
Speaking of loving things, I got to talk to you, man. I saw that you went to the films. You went to the pictures this past week, right?
I actually went to the movie housen.
The movie housen. What'd you see, pal?
Finally went and saw the new Steven Spielberg movie.
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg. Make the moon landing. But
fakes moon.
Yeah, hey, more power to him. Went and saw Disclosure Day with Emily Blunt, and I'm blanking on her co-star's name, but very good movie. I'll say this right off the top of my head, right in the beginning, I should say. Excellent movie. I will say this though, if any of you are going to go to a theater to watch Disclosure Day, it is. I think there's a few people. I saw some reactions online, and I think people are going to this movie think it's going to be like Independence Day, like a big old action movie kind of thing. And yes, while there is some action in this movie, primarily the movie's like it's a thinker,
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a thinker. It's more psychological than anything, and long movie, 2.5 hours. But once you're sitting there in the theater and you're locked in to what's going on, it just flew by. I didn't even bother looking at my watch once. I was just I was just locked in on the screen, locked on what they were doing. And the cool thing is I went to like an old school movie theater. There's a old school theater here in Philly called the Ritz 5, which is like on Walnut and Second, maybe.
Mm.
Second and Walnut, maybe. It's definitely on Walnut, but I can't think of the cross street there. I've been there. I haven't been to that theater in a while. The last time I went to that theater was when they did a screening for the resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts there.
Mm.
And Jake and DDP were there. And the first time I went there was back in the day when Blair Witch Project came out.
Oh, man.
And stood in line to go get tickets. And there's people in line who are talking like as if this is like a real thing. And I'm just eavesdropping it and like, oh boy. You know, and,
it's a work, brother. It's a work.
Yeah. So, went to the matinee, which is perfect. 1 o'clock. There was I was hoping for an empty theater, you know, that just for my own personal reasons of, you know, wanting to feel like I'm having my own private screening, but a decent turnout, you know, but yeah, it was like pretty much like everybody had their own row to themselves and stuff like that. And just sat there and watched it and locked in, and excellent movie. Very good movie. I don't want to really spoil anything, you know, but you know, there's a lot of things in there covered that, you know, have, you know, there's, you know, a few incidents that, you know, have happened in UFO lore that's, you know, kind of covered in the movie. And but the way it was done, the way it was shot, the soundtrack, you know, he brought his orchestra, you know, his soundtrack guy out of retirement for this movie.
Oh, wow.
Just a beautiful, I mean, it was a Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
Everything I'm saying is just, I'm just describing.
Like, of course it's Spielberg. Yeah. That's what Mass Sanity said too. He made a long movie. No.
Yeah. You don't even feel it. You know,
he's so good at that, man. He's so fucking good at that.
Yeah. There's just some shots where you're just like in awe.
Yeah.
Of like, you know, the character sitting there and it's like almost glow, you know. There's a really cool scene, and the way you know, the two main characters are shot in the scene is just fucking gorgeous. You know, it's like, oh my God, you know. And I watched a few, you know, there's people who go to movies and they do right out of theater reactions, and they said this might be one of Spielberg's best movies.
No shit.
Yeah. Well, at least in the last 10 years, you know. But and not that I go to the theater that often, but this one I needed to go see in the theater.
Yeah.
You know, I've been talking about how much I love this movie, and how much I wanted to see this movie. And I have a friend who was doing PR work for it, and she was telling me, you know, the like third act of the movie is so under lock and key, like nobody's seen it. She's like, I have to do PR for a movie. I don't even know how it ends or anything, so I don't know what to promote. So
wow.
Like 2 weeks ago, she eventually got to go into a theater and watch it. And she's like, I saw it. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And she's like, you're going to like, she's like, I think you'll like it. And I was like, awesome. Don't tell me anything. And then,
not a word.
Yeah. I've been avoiding like everything. Like, you know, there's UFO news channels I follow and stuff like that. And some of the people I follow went and saw the movie is like, well, I can't watch these assholes for this week, you know, just so, but yeah, you know, it's a great experience. If you have a chance to go see a movie, I think it's in the theater for 60 days. Most movies now are in the theater for 30 days before they put it on streaming.
Yeah, before they move it there.
I think they're giving Steven I think they're giving Steven 60 days with this one. And it's not your. That's another thing. You know, a movie comes out in the summer. I think it's this big summer blockbuster action flick. It's
Not anymore.
It's not a action flick. It's not Independence Day. It's like I said. It's more of a thinker.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that happen in the movie where you go, oh, what's going on here? But they explain what's going on and stuff like that. So I mean, there's stuff in there for the hardcore UFO followers, but it's not like there's stuff in there for the smart marks, but it's explained for the people who really aren't into UFOs. They just want to go see a movie,
right?
So, and you know, there's some really cool stuff in there too. So, I'll say I said it before, and I'll say it again. Steven Spielberg definitely knows more than he's fucking letting on.
I'm sure.
This whole topic, you know, at Close Encounters of the Third Kind, he had J. Allen Hynek make a cameo in the movie, and J. Allen Hynek was the guy from Project Blue Book, who was, you know, in charge of investigating UFOs for the government, which basically was just a catch and kill, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, he went from a skeptic to a believer, but he makes a cameo in that movie, you know, towards the end. And one of the main characters is based off a real UFO researcher. So I'm watching this. I'm like, man, Steven really knows his fucking lore, and he really he's got to know. I always say I'm sure the government has prepared Hollywood to kind of, you know, do smartness
soften the blow. Yeah,
soften the blow. So if anything does happen, where there's not that, the ontological shock isn't that bad. So, but yeah, it was a great experience. I'm glad I saw it in the theater, you know, and I'm glad I had a whole row to myself. It was like meant to be. I walked in the theater and there's a row of seats and one was already down. I was like, well, I guess I'm sitting there. I sat there with my head behind I was in the last row sitting with my hands behind my head, like I was sitting on the couch. And it was awesome. It was awesome. But,
I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's on my list to see hopefully this week, now that I have a bunch of extra free time on my hands. I'm definitely going to go take a look at that, but not to get into specifics on that, but I just want to thank everybody who's been reaching out about some shit that happened, and I really appreciate it. But I very excited to see that one. Dude, fucking gonna talk a little bit about Tribeca just because there was a lot that's happened since last week. Got to get to the red carpet for the Born Mellow documentary, which is Carmelo Anthony's film with him and his son Cayenne. Got to ask Carmelo a question, got to talk to Dwayne Wade as well. That was really cool. And then another one that was actually, like, I felt like it was a lot cooler was Tony Kaye, the director of American History X, has a documentary out now called Humpty Dumpty X. And it's basically, it's excuse me, the documentary about, and he filmed this, like, kind of all of the things that were happening while American History X was in post-production. And for the uninitiated, Tony Kaye was the director, and there was a dispute between him and the studios, New Line Studios, about the final cut of the movie, and he wanted his name taken off of the movie. And initially, he was going to use Alan Smythe, but then opted to use Humpty Dumpty, and they wouldn't let him use that. So it was a whole thing. Basically, it was him kind of like a mea culpa in a lot of ways, being like, yeah, I was wrong on this one, and I shouldn't have taken it as far as it was, and I thought I was better, and this and that. And Marlon Brando is actually in the documentary as well. Really? He has a meeting with Marlon Brando and a conversation about Hollywood and all these different things. But Tony and I are going to have a conversation sometime this week coming up about the film. And man, it was really good. I love those, me. I love those behind the scenes stuff about, like, how the sausage was made, if you will, baby. The background stuff, and it was really good. I mean, it was, I feel like Tony's, and I think he's like self-admittedly eccentric, because it was like there was a lot of like avant-garde stuff in there, but it wasn't like terrible. It didn't distract from the film. It was just like a very interesting story to see him kind of tie it together. But I really liked it. But Tribeca was an experience, man. It was really cool to be up there and kind of get into a different world, in the media, in the background with the movies and TV and stuff, and seeing how everything works. Everybody was very cool, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. It was a really good time. So I'm looking forward to getting the mellow stuff out. That'll be out on Sportster. I want to say sometime probably Tuesday, depending on when I can sit down and actually edit everything. But got to talk to the Locks too. So Jada Kiss, Styles P, and Chic Luch. I was at their premiere for their documentary. Got to talk to Raekwon and then Kid Capri, who is the world famous DJ.
Nice.
That was the most chaotic red carpet I've ever been to in my life, man. People just everywhere, all over. But no, it was a lot of fun, man. It was cool getting to chop it up with those guys and do something a little bit different, But
I'm sorry, the way you described the Humpty Dumpty X documentary sounds similar. I don't know if it's similar, but there's a documentary about the guy who made Boondock Saints.
Yes.
Yeah, and how that guy pretty much killed his career overnight, after he made Boondock Saints. And I don't know if it was like they filmed during the process of making the movie, but when you were describing that documentary, it kind of reminded me of that one. So it's like, it's crazy, like how certain things, happen, again and again in the world of movie making and stuff like that.
I'm reading about it now. He was frustrated by the way it was made. Let me see. Bidding war. They pulled out of the project. Miramax pulled out of the project. I wonder what that is. I'll have to look it up and see exactly what it was that happened with that. What was what were the issues? Do you know?
It's been so long since I've seen the documentary, but
oh, here it is. It's called Overnight in 2003.
Yeah. Yes.
It was about, the description says he's presented as a victim of his own ego. Troy seemed to revel in the attention of Hollywood's lights. Wow. I would really like to watch this because this is definitely something that would be up my alley. Like those types of stories are what I enjoy,
So it sounds similar to the documentary you just described, which
yeah,
I definitely want to watch Humpty Dumpty X.
Yes, absolutely worth it. I'll get the information for it. Like I said, I'll be talking to Tony at some point this week, but I'll definitely get it's literally it's filmed directly on like a handheld camera that he had used pretty much the entire film, like the entire filming process. But it's interesting also to hear the stuff behind the scenes too, how it works with Hollywood and some different things. And he had a lot of the subjects that were backstage in New Line and some of the, the big studio heads and stuff. They actually appeared, 20 years later with him sitting down talking about it. So very interesting. I'll send it over to you. But Mass Entity says the Alan Smythe name is on a lot of movies and TV shows after directors had issues. The Nostalgia YouTube channel is that I watched, did a piece on it. Yes, please do. I would love to see that. That was one of the caveats that he talks about in the movie, was that he could take his name off the film, but he wouldn't be allowed to talk about it. And he was like, well, I'm not going to do that because I want to, express my frustrations. And then the LA Times got involved and it was this huge fucking explosive story. But
right.
Yeah, definitely want to check it out for sure. But yeah, it was a good time, man. It was a lot of fun. What else is going on, man? What else is going on in the mind of the meanie?
Go back to Disclosure Day. And
yeah,
like I was saying, I don't want to give any spoilers, but Cat's kind of out of the bag on this one. So I'm sitting in the theater, opening credits roll out, and wouldn't you know it, fucking opening scene of the movie, the main character is at a pro wrestling show.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It opens up and there's Lance Archer.
No way.
Wrestling Brian Cage.
Holy shit, man.
With Chavo Guerrero Jr. as the referee. So
that does not surprise me in the least. That Chavo was the guy to do it.
Oh yeah. I mean, Chavo's the go-to guy.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool to see that. Chavo just did the wrestling stuff for there's a show called Margot's Got Money
Troubles. Yep.
Great show. If you could get past the first 2 episodes with all the baby crying and stuff like that, I was like, ooh, this is a bit much. But not that I hate babies, but
I know what you mean. No, it's yeah.
babies
Trust
crying,
me,
you know.
it's a lot, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like a shoot, brother. Yeah, Margot's got money trouble. Fucking fantastic, and that just renewed for a second season.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Chavo did the work on that show as well. So shout out to Chavo Guerrero. Yeah.
Yeah, Chavo did the coach. Chavo was the coach on the Netflix version of Glow. Yep, he's. I got to talk to him a couple weeks ago when they were doing the press for Margot. He did a spot with me on the Sportster. He was telling me about how he kind of like fell into it. Now he's like the guy that everybody goes to in Hollywood, which I think is great. Like it's an amazing.
It's awesome.
Like you don't have to like sacrifice your body anymore, and I can get paid to teach people how to take bumps on the. Fuck, sign me up, man. I'm with it.
I'm trying to think of the main the main actor.
Nick Offerman is the guy in
I love, and it's a shame. I love Nick Offerman too.
Mhm.
I should know his name, but I'm watching interviews of him talking about going through training and how it made him appreciate what pro wrestlers go through, and he appreciated the culture of pro wrestling and the art form of professional wrestling. He took it very seriously, and I really appreciate that because I was already a fan of his.
Yeah.
Just being like a man's man, he works with raw materials and drinks Lagavulin or whatever the fuck that drink's called. The fucking stuff from Scotland. I spent like a good half hour one time on the show trying to pronounce it, and I couldn't fucking pronounce it. But yeah, and star-studded cast, great writing, and I guess it's based off a book, and the author of the book's a huge professional wrestling fan, so it's kind of cool to see WWE or WWF and AEW is presented in Margot's Got Money Troubles, where Nick Offerman's character, the Jinx, they show footage of him wrestling back in the day. It's got the old school WWF logo.
Oh no shit.
Corner. But then like he's coming home and they're sitting home watching wrestling, and then there's Willow Nightingale wrestling in AEW.
Oh, that's sick, man.
On the screen. So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting how a TV show could bring two competitors together, like that. But if you're a fan of well-written TV, and of course I'm assuming you're a fan of pro wrestling if you're listening to this podcast.
Yep.
Margot's Got Money Trouble. If you can watch, you get a chance to watch it, definitely check that out.
Yep. A couple things I want to circle back on here before we get to our favorite segment of the show. We got little Jimmy in the house here. Little hashtag
level.
What's up, dude? What's going on, man? Good to see you, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Represent the BWO shirt in his profile photo there.
Oh man, I was going to tell you a couple weeks ago when I don't know if I mentioned this, but I was at AEW Dynamite in Philly, whenever that was, at the Leacore Center. Guy that was sitting literally diagonally from me had a BWO shirt on, and I was like, "Hey man, great shirt, great fucking shirt."
And then
I know that guy. I know that dude.
I might know him.
I might know that guy. I think I may be aware.
It's amazing how that shirt just pops up everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The Philly captain just did a vlog, and he was wearing a BWO shirt in the vlog. And anytime something BWO shirt pops up somewhere on TV or out in public, I'll either get a DM or a text. Shout out to Jeffrey Mitchell, who is a OG Pod Squad member here. He always wears the BWO shirt to the Philadelphia Union games, and he's always representing. So it's cool to see little Jimmy wearing the BWO shirt and his thumbnail there on the post. But dude, we're going on 30 years of the BWO this November.
Yeah,
November will be the 30th year, and
crazy
how a one night deal was just became this thing. My one and only. Well, I don't know if it's my one and only, but one of my rare magazine cover, being on the cover of a magazine. The BWO was on the cover of a wrestling magazine. I think I want to say it's Wrestling USA or something like that. Just surreal. How we had that magical run with the BWO.
Matthew Elvis Presley says, wait, The Blair Witch Project was fake. What the fuck? The whole time I believed you guys just ruined years of research for me. My life's work is over. And then he says, oh, well, I still have Paranormal Activity to research. No way that was fake. Yeah. Yep. Not fake.
No.
Not fake. Nope. You're good.
Now, what we need is for the WWE Vault channel to put out the Blonde Bitch Project.
Yes.
You know,
We need that.
I know it exists.
The streets need it.
I know it. I had somebody check and they sent me a screenshot. I'm like, fuck, it's there. It's there on the shelves. It's in the system.
Mass Sanity says, when I saw guys cosplaying as BWO and words. When I saw guys cosplaying as BWO at an AEW show, I asked them if I could take a picture and send it to Meanie. They immediately posed and couldn't be happier. Dude, it's the best thing in the world, man. I love it. Everywhere I go, I see it.
That's the Newark, New Jersey shows for AEW. Those 3 guys.
Yep.
Always dressed as the BWO, and it's awesome.
Do me a favor. Can you hit that Vince McMahon button here before we transition?
Yeah, it needs a little tightening up, but you know.
The Blue Meanie.
Yes.
Meanie. Real quick, as I'm laughing and we're feeling jocular in nature, I had a question. As the jocularity feels like it was overflowing there for a second. I got a question. And it's just, are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to. It's time to ask Meanie anything. Ask me something.
Don't forget to tweet us your question. Quote, God. Phew.
Join the club.
Man, you ever have a feeling where your brain like that do that noise? That's how I feel right now. Don't forget to tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie, and you may hear them on our wonderful program. Meanie, what you sipping on today, brother?
I got the from the Aldi's, the Bellevue strawberry. Right there.
Remember, friends, we still have the bounty for the pumpkin pie that's out there, but I also got some of the stuff from the Aldi's as well. It's Sparkling Frost Raspberry Lemonade. I guess it's a new flavor for Alex's lemonade stand this year, and I have not tried this. So this will be a live one on the air here.
There we go.
All right, let's sip them wherever you got. 3, 2, 1. That was a little tiny one.
That man is farting loudly.
We're gonna pinkies up. Cheers, beers.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Pretty good. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. I picked the wrong week. I picked the wrong week to clip my fucking fingernails. I could barely.
No, you still have your toenails if you can use those. If you have the
but I got shoes on. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I usually like to. When I'm walking in the grass, I usually like to dig in. You know, mine are about 8 inches now, so I'd like to.
One of my favorite Bobby Heenan lines is like he said, Brian Knobs' parents wanted him to stop biting his nails, so they bought him some shoes.
Oh my God. Wait, hold on.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
This is a drizzling shit.
I got a new desk here and everything is like set up nicely now. So the board is, instead of having to like lean over here, it's like legit right next to me. And I'm so happy. Love it. We got 2 questions for you today. Good, sir. Oh, wait, Vanessa is here.
Hello, Vanessa.
Hello from West Boylston, Massachusetts. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Matthew, actually, let's start with this one here with Mass Sanity Feist. He says, Ask Manity, whilst we all know who Danhausen is, we've known for a while, he's been with WWE for just 4 months. Have you ever seen such a big jump from who is he to he's everywhere like this?
This is a good, he's in kind of in rarefied air, because, and I said it before and I'll say it again. Like I always say, I'll say it before and say it again. He was a victim of expectations, when he debuted. To me, I think everybody thought, Jericho was coming out of the box. Danhausen comes out of the box. And people booed the situation. They didn't boo Danhausen. But
right.
If I can use this cliche of the meteoric rise of Danhausen has been pretty special. it's you know, and it's a character you wouldn't think would be this over, and it's not because of the character. It's just, you know, like when I went to WWE, I often said, maybe I went to WWE, 10 years too late, or 5 years too late.
Mm.
My character is more of a '80s WWE character. Danhausen is definitely a mid '80s to the early '90s WWE character. But here we are, the 2026s, and the fans have embraced the character, and that's a testament to the man behind the character and his willingness to go 100%.
Mm-hmm.
He's unflappable.
Yeah.
His dedication to improvisation. You can hit him with any topic, and he can have a promo on anything. So, and I think that's what people recognize, the genuineness of his character, and his dedication to the character. And the fact that he's come along at the right time with the whole Knicks thing. And
yeah, man,
like if you put a gun to my head, I'd be a dead man right now, because I really can't think of a character who's gone from, like you said, who's he, to he's everywhere.
I can literally tell you that there are people in my life, there are friends of mine in my life who I know do not watch wrestling. They were not wrestling fans, and they have reached out and were like, who is this Danhausen guy? Where can I find more of him? And I need him all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, it is pervasive. It is everywhere. And I can't think of anybody off the top of my head who has had such a rise this quick to prominence. You know what I mean? In the way that he has. I can't think of anything. So, but I do know that I sure could go for a Baby Ruth at the present juncture, at this very moment. Ask Meanie. Matthew Elvis Presley says,
yes,
the Knickerbockers had their moment. Can you name some wrestlers who never had their Knickerbocker moment? Especially, I really thought Owen Hart could have beat Bret Hart and had a run.
I'm trying to think. Would Daniel Bryan's count? When he was, battling the Office, and then going up and winning the world title at WrestleMania, and Connor the Crusher was at ringside, and he's battling Batista and Randy Orton kind of thing. He's like,
yeah, maybe Kofi Mania too.
Yeah. Kofi Mania, and ironically, he beats Daniel Bryan for the belt. But there's, for some reason, Daniel Bryan comes to mind. And I don't know if the correlation is there, but he was the underdog who was introduced to WWE through the original NXT show, when it was a game show, basically. And people thought his career was going to be DOA.
Yeah.
And he goes on he goes on to have the Yes Movement, where the crowd like totally and it's like the Danhausen thing. Danhausen's everywhere. That Yes Movement was everywhere. Sporting events, crowds, people in the crowd, doing the yes, yes, all the way up to, he's in the ring with, Steph and Triple H, and they're cheering for him.
Yeah.
And he's just standing there like, oh God, what are you gonna do? Just, they hijacked the show, for him. But that's the only that comes to mind right off the top of my head, But
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I think maybe Kofi to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Daniel Bryan's really it. That hijacked things the way he did. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of went on a run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more question for you. Little Jimmy's got one here. He says,
great question, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, sir. Little Jimmy says, have you seen the Steve Macklin and Deonna Purrazzo Battle for the Brave wrestling show from last weekend? Did you get a chance to check that out?
Unfortunately, I haven't, but Everybody knows I love Steve Macklin. He's one of my kids. And Deanna is awesome as well.
You trained Steve Macklin?
Yeah.
No way. That's cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I learned something new today.
I like to say more of a coach, you know. When I say I train people, it's more of the mental aspect of the business. But yeah, early days at the Monster Factory, helping out. He was there and talked to him about the business and the mentality of the business. And it's funny, when he got his WWE tryout, he came back and he's like, everything, a couple of people told me this when they went to have WWE tryouts. They're like, yeah, everything you told me was going to happen happened. It's like, yeah, but yeah, I helped. I had a hand in his training, but he put in the work.
Well, we want to thank you all for putting in the work and sticking with us today here. And for your questions, we appreciate it. Don't forget to tweet us using the hashtag AskMeanie or drop them in the chat here. But Meanie, good sir, where can everybody keep up to date with all things blue when they're not listening to the program?
Oh, yeah. If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Blue Meanie BWO, wherever you do your social media. If you'd like to support the Blue Meanie, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Blue Meanie. Thank you to the people who've been buying the shirts this month. It's been a good month for Blue Meanie over there. If you'd like to support Mind of the Me, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Madcapbeardcare.com. Get the Blue Spruce Beard Oil or Balm. Shout out to Josh Thornton, whose days doing amazing. Shout out to Josh Thornton. Sorry, I can't speak today either.
Two of us have first days with a new mouth here.
Yeah. Yes, he is doing an amazing job over there at madcapbeardcare.com, rounding up the kitties, taking them to the vet, and sends them out better than he found them. So if you're a cat lover like myself, go to madcapbeardcare.com. The Ultra Pro Wrestling video game coming to all major consoles. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters by the amazing Hal Haney, but many real-world wrestlers, including myself and many others I'm trying not to spoil. So go to ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. That's ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. To have the Blue Meanie on your podcast, go to podstars.net. That's podstrz.net. Register your podcast, book the Blue Guy, and let's have a conversation over there at podstars.net. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Please book through the website. Don't book through the app. The app takes way too much of your hard-earned money. And the town never gets to really see what you're paying for. So done a few over the last couple weeks. Always a good time trying to make somebody's day a little bit brighter over there. And a lot of people don't know you can text me on Cameo. Send me a little message. I just somebody asked me last night, what's the goriest match I've ever seen? Of course I said Sabu and Funk Border Me Wired. So go to cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. Most importantly, Mr. Barnard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. This is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand pal. So go and check me out there. Don't forget to go to Foundation Radio, which has now been rebranded as Foundation with Adam Barnard. Go over there at youtube.com/@FoundationRadioPod. Go and check out all my content that's live right now from Tribeca Film Festival, which includes my conversations with Spike Lee and Bob Odenkirk. I also have a lot of cool stuff coming up. I have conversations with The Locks, Raekwon, Kid Capri, Carmelo Anthony, and Dwayne Wade. And I also have something fun coming with Tony K coming later this week. So go and subscribe now. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed so far, commented, shared, and liked. Don't forget to check out my work at TheSportster at thesportster.com. Shout out to the homies at the 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville at the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go ahead and see Kane and get your hair cut and get signed up today at 10thwardbarbershop.com. Don't forget the Super Jersey Comic Expo is happening August 29th at the Iron Peak Sports and Events Dome. We're having a little Mallrats reunion here. Jason Lee, Ethan Suplee, Joey Lauren Adams, and other people that we have not announced yet. We are very excited to share that with you when the time is right. So go and get your tickets today at superjerseyexpo.com. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Pick up a shirt and keep the lights on at Casa DeMeanie and the Barnard Home for Wayward and Troubled Youth. Don't forget to go to Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Tiers start at just $10 human dollars. And if you look above Meanie's head there at youtube.com/@Mind of the Meanie, you can go and check out all of our archive going all the way back to the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2022, and see everything we have going on there. And we appreciate you, Pod Squad, for being here on Sunday morning with us. You can be anywhere in the world with us, and you can be there right now. And we appreciate you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Everything helps us get into everybody's algorithms, and we really appreciate that very much. Meanie, I appreciate you, good sir, and a pleasant Baba Booey to you for the rest of your day. For the Blue Meanie, I am Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip to the mind of the Meanie.
Blue Meanie, very cursed.
Peace.
Blue World Order.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. That's me. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is performed by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever, @Mind of the Meanie, and become part of the Pod Squad by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
That was Blue Meanie's brain out.